First of all, you guys all okay? Big shout out to all of you scouts out there all across the world. I know we always get loads of people from America and from India joining these as well. So welcome to you guys. And as I said to all you scouts, well done. Keep shining bright. Keep being that light in your community. Courage, kindness, never give up. Key things, as you guys know. This evening is all about trying to share a few little bits of reading from various books I've done. And as a parent, I know that bedtime can be a really special time, parent and son or daughter, and to have something nice to read or to hear is always good. Likewise, as a parent for school times where we have to do a bit of school reading as well. So I thought I would do every Sunday evening for a little bit, and just for 5 minutes or so, and read a little bit from various books. I wanted to start off with Mud, Sweat and Tears, which is my first autobiography that I did, but did it a while ago now. It's 10 years now since I wrote this, and it really kind of ended on the start of all of my TV journey. So it's very much kind of early life and military stuff and expeditions and Everest and family and that sort of stuff. But we did a junior edition of it here, which is abridged and therefore a little shorter, a little easier to read. And this evening is obviously about juniors. So I was going to read just the prologue from Mud, Sweat and Tears. But I think I might read it from the original one. But it's really well the same. There we go. Oh, for those of you, I bet we all missed the mountains, eh? Look at that. I think soon we'll all be climbing up them again. And for those of you who like paragliding and speed flying or skiing or any mountain sports, we'll be throwing ourselves down them again soon. So there we go. And then, so this is just going to be a few minutes, and then at the end of this, I was going to take some questions from you guys. Loads of people have sent questions in. I've scribbled a couple of them down here so I can remember them, and I'll do a few from here as well. And then we'll all get on with our evening. Good? Okay, here we go. Prologue. The air temperature is minus 20 degrees. I wiggle my fingers, but they're still freezing cold. Old frost nip injuries never let you forget. I blame Everest for that. You set, buddy? Cameraman Simon asked me, smiling. His rig is all prepped and ready to go. I smile back. I'm unusually nervous, though. Something doesn't quite feel right. But I don't listen to the inner voice. It's time to go to work. The crew tell me that the crisp northern Canadian Rockies look spectacular this morning. But I don't really notice. It's time to get into my secret place. A rare part of me that is focused, is clear, is brave and is precise. It's a part of me I know the best, but maybe visit the least. I only like to use it sparingly, like now. Beneath me is 300 feet of steep snow and ice. Steep but manageable. I've done this sort of fast descent many, many times. But never be complacent, the voice says. And the voice is always right. A last deep breath. A look to Simon. A silent acknowledgement comes back. Yet we've cut a vital corner, I know it. But yet I do nothing. Instead I leap. And I'm instantly taken by the speed. Normally I love it. But this time I'm worried. I never feel worried normally in the moment. And that tells me I know something is wrong. I'm soon travelling at over 40 miles an hour, feet first down the mountain. The ice races past only inches from my head. This is my world. I gain even more speed. The edge of the peak gets closer. Time to arrest the fall. I flip nimbly onto my front and drive the ice axe into the snow. And a cloud of white spray and ice soars into the air. I can feel the rapid deceleration as I grind the axe deep into the mountain with all my power. It works like it always does, like clockwork. Total confidence. One of those rare moments of lucidity. It's fleeting, and then it is gone. And I'm now static. The world hangs still, and then, out of nowhere, bang! Simon, his heavy wooden sled plus solid metal camera housing, piles straight into my left thigh. He's doing in excess of 45 miles an hour, and there is an instant explosion of pain and noise and weight. It's like a freight train, and I'm thrown down the mountain like a doll. Life stands still. I feel and I can see it all in slow motion, yet in that split second I've only one realisation. A 1 degree different course, and the sled's impact would have been with my head. Without doubt, it would have been my last living thought. Instead, I'm alive, and I'm in agony, writhing. I'm crying. They're tears of relief more than anything. I know I'm injured, but I am alive. I see a helicopter, but hear no sound. Then the hospital. I've been in a few since Man vs. Wild began, and I hate them. I can see them all through closed eyes. The dirty, blood-stained emergency room in Vietnam, after I severed half my finger in the jungle. There were no bedside graces there. Then the rock fall in the Yukon, not to mention the way worse boulder fall in Costa Rica. The mine shaft collapse in Montana, or that saltwater croc in Australia, or the 16-foot tiger that I landed on in the Pacific versus a snake bite in Borneo. Countless close shaves. They all blur and all bad. Yet all good. I'm alive. There are too many to hold grudges. Life is all about the living, and I am smiling. The next day, I try and forget the crash. To me, it's past. Accidents happen. It was no one's fault. Lessons learned. Listen to the voice. I move on. Hey, Si, I'm totally cool. Just get me a pina colada when we get out of this place. Oh, and I'm going to be sending you the evac, doc and physio bills. Simon reaches for my hand. I love this man. We've lived some life out there, filming together. I look down at the hospital floor at my ripped mountain bib pants, blood-stained jacket, smashed mini cams, broken goggles, all in a pile. And I quietly wonder, when did all this craziness become my world? That's the prologue. Then we go into part one, which I'm not going to read you, but it starts with a great quote that says this: the young do not know enough to be prudent, and therefore they attempt the impossible and achieve it, generation after generation. What a great quote. And then the rest of the book is the story. So there you go, Mud, Sweat and Tears and the junior edition. So yes, I hope you like that. I hope that was fun to have just for a few minutes. I promise I'll answer some questions as well. So here we go. First one is, what's the book that sold the most? Well, the book that sold the most is definitely Mud, Sweat and Tears. You know, I've written, I think we're on 85 books now, which is a lot. But a lot of them are like kids' manuals on how to tie knots and how to make camps and stuff like that. But the book that sold the most has been Mud, Sweat and Tears. And it sold over 1 million copies in the UK, which is cool, and it's done well all around the world. Although, in fact, actually, it's not Mud, Sweat and Tears. The book that sold the most, well, the series of books that sold the most are Mission Survival books, which have sold something like 15 million copies in China. So those are the ones that have sold the most. Which is my favourite. My favourite book I'm going to read from next week is Survival Guide for Life, which is about how to achieve your goals, grow in character, and thrive in adversity. So that's what I'm going to be reading from next week. That's my favourite book. Another question here. How are you keeping fit during this pandemic? Well, we're all at home. I'm loving the Be Military Fit that I run with an old military friend of mine called BMF, Be Military Fit, and it's a community of veterans and people who support the military, and it's online training, and it's normally in the parks training, and we're the biggest outdoor training company in Europe. So normally it's groups of people training together in the parks with obviously an instructor guiding them. But at this time we all have to be inside. So we've done BMF at home. And actually it's been amazing. We've seen this whole community grow, and the business has grown like never before. It's been amazing to see. But it's all about supporting veterans and bringing the military ethos of training to everybody, whoever you are in the world and whatever country. We train together, we train outside, although not at the moment, we're training inside. So that's how I keep fit. I do my BMF. Another question. Let's not do that one. What am I writing at the moment? Am I writing at the moment? I am writing at the moment. I'm actually writing the follow-up 10 years on from Mud, Sweat and Tears, and I'm writing Mud, Sweat and Fears is what I'm going to call the sequel to it. And I haven't really spoken about this yet, but it's really the whole story from, Man vs. Wild all through Running Wild and all the other shows and the Netflix stuff, and the whole journey, and a ton of other expeditions and family stuff and life, and scouts and the Marines and all of that good stuff. So I'm probably about halfway through that. I'm trying to write a bit each day. When the family, when the boys are doing their homeschooling, I try and do a few hours of this, and I'm getting there. It is hard work, which is actually another question on here. What advice for writers? I think whether you're writing for school or whether you're writing, a book, the key is beginning and then never giving up. Ross, my friend, who's a great guy, a great swimmer, he always says you've got to be naive enough to start and stubborn enough to finish. And I like that. And I think it covers so many things in life, so many dreams that we go for. You've got a little bit of naivety to think, you'll be able to pull it off. And then when you get into it, you've got to be stubborn enough to see it through. So there you go. That feels like a good point to end this evening. Pleasure to spend 15 minutes with you guys. And I hope you enjoyed a little bit from Mud, Sweat and Tears. And next week we'll do a bit from Survival Guide for Life. And you never know, the final one we might do, I might read you a little bit of what I've written from Mud, Sweat and Fears, even though it's not yet out. Sound good? All right. God bless. Have a great evening. Take care, guys.